The Intouchables is a 2011 French comedy-drama film directed by Olivier Nakache and Éric Toledano. It stars Fnac, Cluzet and Omar. 9 weeks after its release in France on November 2, 2011, it became the second biggest box office hit in France, just behind the 2008 film Welcome to the Sticks. The film was voted the cultural event of 2011 in France with 52% of votes in a poll by Fnac. The film has received several award nominations. In France, the film was nominated for 8 Car Copyright César Awards and earned Omar the Car Copyright César Award for Best Actor. Plot: at night in Paris, Driss is driving Philippe's Maserati at high speed. They are chased through the streets by the police, and eventually cornered. Driss claims the quadriplegic Philippe must be urgently driven to the emergency room. Philippe pretends to have a stroke and the fooled police officers escort them to the hospital. The story of the friendship between the two men is then told as a flashback. Philippe, a rich quadriplegic who owns a luxurious mansion, and his assistant Magali, are interviewing candidates to be his live-in caregiver. Driss, a candidate, has no ambitions to get hired. He is just there to get a signature showing he was interviewed and rejected in order to continue to receive his welfare benefits. He is told to come back the next morning to get his signed letter. The next day, Driss returns and learns that he is on a trial period for the live-in caregiver job. Despite his disinterest and lack of professional experience, Driss does well caring for Philippe, even if his methods are unconventional. Driss learns the extent of Philippe's disability and accompanies Philippe in every moment of his life, assisting him in all the ways needed. A friend of Philippe's reveals Driss's criminal record, which includes 6 months in jail for robbery. Philippe states he does not care about Driss's past because he is the only one that does not treat him with pity. He says he will not fire him as long as he does his job properly. Philippe discloses to Driss that he became disabled following a paragliding accident and that his wife died without bearing children. Gradually, Philippe is led by Driss to put some order in his private life, including being stricter with his adopted daughter Elisa. Driss discovers modern art, opera, and even takes up painting. For Philippe's birthday, a private concert of classical music is performed in his living room. After the concert, Driss plays Earth, Wind and Fire's Boogie Wonderland, and Philippe has a birthday that is not boring as the ones he has had in the past. Driss discovers that Philippe has a purely epistolary relationship with a woman called Copyright, who lives in Dunkirk. Driss encourages him to meet her, but Philippe fears her reaction when she discovers his disability. Driss eventually convinces Philippe to talk to Copyright on the phone. Philippe agrees with Driss to send a photo of him in a wheelchair to her, but he hesitates and asks his aide, Yvonne, to send a picture of him as he was before his accident. A date between Copyright and Philippe is agreed. At the last minute, Philippe is too scared to meet Copyright and leaves with Yvonne before Copyright arrives. Philippe then calls Driss and invites him to travel with him in his private jet for a paragliding weekend. Adema, Driss's younger cousin, who is in trouble with a gang, comes to fetch Driss at Philippe's mansion on the pretext of delivering mail. Overhearing, Philippe recognizes Driss need to be supportive to his family and releases him from his job, suggesting he may not want to push a wheelchair all his life. Driss returns to his urban projects, joining his friends, and manages to help his younger cousin. In the meantime, Philippe has hired caregivers to replace Driss, but he isn't happy with any of them. His morale is very low and he stops taking care of himself. Yvonne becomes worried and contacts Driss, who arrives and decides to drive Philippe in the Maserati, which brings the story back to the first scene of the film, the police chase. After they have eluded the police, Driss takes Philippe to the seaside. Upon shaving and dressing elegantly, Philippe and Driss arrive at a kebab restaurant with a great ocean view. Driss suddenly leaves the table and says good luck to Philippe for his lunch date. A few seconds later, Copyright arrives. Emotionally touched, Philippe looks through the window and sees Driss outside, smiling at him. Driss bids Philippe farewell and walks away. Background: the plot of the film is inspired by the true story of Philippe Pozzo di Borgo and his French-Algerian caregiver Abdel Seller, discovered by the directors in A La Vie, A la Mort, a documentary film. Cast: Fnac Section Cluzet as Philippe, Omar Sy as Driss Basseri, Audrey Fleuret as Magali, Clotilde Mollet as Marcel, Anne Lenny as Yvonne, Ulpa Gorkrigate Beligi as Elisa, Cyril Mendy as Adema, Christian Emery as Albert, Gra Copyright Goiro Esteman as Antoine, Marie-Laure Discouro as Chantal, Abza Dialator as Mina, Salamata Kamat as Fatou. Reception. Critical response: the film holds a 75% certified fresh rating at the film review aggregation site Rotten Tomatoes, which includes 89 positive reviews out of 118, and an average score of 6.7 out of 10. On Metacritic, the film has a score of 57 out of 100, based on 31 ratings of professional critics. Upon the film's September 21, 2012 UK release under the title Untouchable, The Independent called it a third-rate buddy movie that hardly understands its own condescension. Why has the world flipped for this movie? Maybe it's the fantasy it spins on ratio-cultural mores, much as Driving Miss Daisy did 20-odd years ago. A uptight rich white employer learns to love through black employees' life force. That was set in the segregationist America of the 1940s. What's this film's excuse? Robbie Collin of The Telegraph called it as broad, accessible and trombonishly unsubtle as a subtitle Driving Miss Daisy. According to Collin, the characters are conduits for charisma rather than great dramatic roles, but the horseplay between SY and Cluzet is often very funny, and one joke bounces merrily into the next. Nigel Farndale, also of The Telegraph, said, "The film, which is about to be released in Britain, has been breaking box office records in France and Germany, and one of the reasons seems to be that it gives the audience permission to laugh with, not at, people with disabilities, and see their lives as they have never seen them before." Accolades: the film won the Tokyo Sakura Grand Prix Award given to the best film at the Tokyo International Film Festival and the award for Best Actor to both François Cluzet and Omar Sy in 2011. At the Car Copyright César Awards 2012, a film received 8 nominations. Omar Sy received the Car Copyright César Award for Best Actor on February 24, 2012 for the role of Driss in being the first French African actor to receive this honor. In September 2012, it was announced that The Intouchables had been selected as the French entry for the Best Foreign Language Oscar for the 85th Academy Awards. In December 2012, it made the January shortlist, but was ultimately not selected for inclusion among the final nominees. Box office: after 4 weeks, by November 25, 2011, The Intouchables had already become the most-watched film in France in 2011. After 16 weeks, more than 19 million people had seen the film in France. On January 10, 2012, The Intouchables set a record, having been number 1 for 10 consecutive weeks since its release in France. The film has grossed $166 million in France and $444.7 million worldwide as of May 12, 2013. On March 20, 2012, The Intouchables became the highest-grossing movie in a language other than English with $281 million worldwide. It broke the previous record set by the Japanese film Spirited Away, also breaking the record for the highest-grossing French film, surpassing The Fifth Element. In July 2012, it became the top-grossing foreign-language film of 2012 in North America, surpassing A Separation. The film has also done well in several other European countries, topping charts in Germany for 9 consecutive weeks, Switzerland for 11 weeks, Austria for 6 weeks, Poland for 3 weeks, and Italy, Spain and Belgium for 1 week, as of May 20, 2012. With more than 30 million tickets sold outside of France, it is the most successful French film shot in French since at least 1994. In the United States, it is the 4th highest-grossing French-language film since 1980. In Germany, it is the most successful French film shot in any language since at least 1968. In Italy, it is the most successful French film shot in French since at least 1997. In Spain, it is the 2nd most successful French film shot in French since at least 1994 behind Asterix and Obelix Take on Caesar released in 1999. In South Korea, it is the most successful French film shot in French since at least 1994. In Switzerland, it is the most successful French film shot in any language and the second most successful film from any nationalities behind Titanic, since at least 1995. In Belgium, it is the second most successful French film shot in any language since at least 1996 behind Bienvenue chez les. In Austria, it is the most successful French film shot in any language since at least 1994. In the Netherlands, it is the most successful French film shot in any language since at least 1994. In Poland, it is the fourth most successful French film shot in French since at least 1998 behind Alma Copyright Lie, Asterix at the Olympic Games and Asterix and Obelix, Mission Cleopatra. In Israel, it is the most successful French film shot in French since at least 2002. In Quebec, it is the fourth most successful French film shot in French since January 1, 2000 behind Asterix and Obelix, Mission Cleopatra, Alma Copyright Lie and The Chorus. In Portugal, with 146,000 tickets sold in 5 weeks, it is the sixth most successful French film shot in French since at least 1994. In Japan, it is the most successful French film ever. Soundtrack. English language remake. In addition to acquiring distribution rights in English-speaking countries, Scandinavian countries and China, the Weinstein Company acquired the rights to remake the film in English. See also, List of submissions to the 85th Academy Awards for Best Foreign Language Film, List of French submissions for the Academy Award for Best Foreign Language Film, References. External links, official website, The Intouchables at the Internet Movie Database, The Intouchables at Box Office Mojo, The Intouchables at Rotten Tomatoes, The Intouchables at Metacritic, Intouchables at Allocine Copyright, Box Office Intouchables, Amigos Intouchables at Cinerama UI.